Today's experts, like I said, is Ms. Hiran. She's the founder and director of Biology EduServe, an avid educator with 1.5 decades of rich experience in the field of preschool education. And you know what? I'm going to keep even that intro small because I want to use as much of the time with Ms. Hiran actually engaging with you guys to become larger. So welcome, Ms. Hiran.
Thank you, Mr. Ashish. Thank you so much for that introduction. Good evening, everybody. My name is Hiran Pagadia, and yes, as Ashish sir said, I am the director of Biology EduServe. It's a teacher training institute here in Vadodara. And today, our topic is how stories help to enhance language skills. Wow, stories are my favorites, right? Now, before we get into the nitty gritties of stories, I would first tell you what is language, first of all, right? So when the child perceives, when he begins to perceive the world, he's not only doing it through his eyes, but also through his speech, right? So communication involves both speech and language. So when I say speech, it means the verbal means of communication. And when I say language, it means the shared rules that we put where we put the words together to express our thoughts and feelings. So, from birth, children are programmed to develop speech and language. The first 5 years of the children are very critical. We have to take note of that because language development continues right from infancy. It moves throughout the early childhood and into the adolescence. So early on, if you see the babies make their own sounds, they're doing their own cooing and the babbling. Then later, as they grow, once they are around 1 year, they can, speak around just one word sentences, right? It's like mama, dada, dada, daddy, right? And then as they move forward, so by the time they are 18 months, a child usually has a vocabulary of say 50 to 150 words. So they'll say, and they will talk in two word sentences like mama ball or papa office, mama go, right? So all of this then, so what is it that we can enhance their learning? And we all want that our children should start speaking early, they should start reading. So what is it that we have to enhance, or what is it that we have to do? How does it happen? Okay, it all happens because of the adults that surround them in their environment. So it can be their mom, their dads, their grandpas, their grandmas, the teachers. Everybody has a part to play. So I'm often asked how language develops through storytelling, right? And so that is what I'm here for today. I'm going to share you few of my experiences here. So talking to your children develops their vocabulary. So unless you talk, see, each one of us have a storyteller within us. It's only that we need to recognize that from within, right? So unless you talk, you will not be able to read. So what do I have to give? What tools? Where do I acquire all those words and the language completely? From the people talking to you. You acquire it from the human beings first, right? And from when? Right from the moment the child is in the womb. Yes, you heard me right. I mean the womb. We should be talking, singing songs, singing the rhymes, right? Talk as you walk, talk as you do things, talk as you cook. Fill your children with vocabulary for later use. Develop that curiosity, imagination, all of this alongside this, right? So you may say that, ma'am, I'm not a storyteller. How do I go about it? Oh, it's very simple. And I can give you an example for that by narrating a nice story to you. So today's story is all about a bear, and not a simple bear. He was an itchy bear, a very itchy bear. Now, the bear, one day, he decided to sleep the whole day, but he started to get itch. Oh my God. And it was no ordinary itch. There was an itch on his paws. There was an itch behind the ears. There was an itch near his elbow. And you know what? Whenever I say itch, you know what you are going to do? You're going to say a sound of itch. Does it sound like that? What does it happen? Itch, itch. Yes. So whenever I say itch, you're going to rub your palms. All right? Okay, so this is about the bear who was very itchy. It was itching all over behind his ears, on his elbows, behind, in between his toes. Oh my God. Now what am I going to do? So he looked here and he looked there and he said, I need to find a good place to scratch myself. Oh, and look what he found. He found a nice stone where he could rub his bottom, and he itched and he itched and he itched. While he was doing that, he heard a voice and he said, Hello, Mr. Bear. Here, can you see me behind? Ooh, who was that? There was a rabbit. And what was the rabbit doing there? Do you mind scratching yourself somewhere else? I do. You see, I'm doing an important work of digging a hole here. Oh my God. The bear felt a little bad and embarrassed. And so what did he do? He went and found another place. Now it was itching really bad behind his ears. Oh my God. Then what did he get? He found a branch of a tree and he was itching. And while he was scratching, he went, Ooh, I'm feeling so good. Ooh. Right? It was not just a ooh, it was an ooh. He was feeling so nice. And while he was doing that, there was somebody on the tree. Who was that? It was Pan the Panda. And he said, Mr. Bear, can you see? I'm trying to count 1, 2, 3, but all your itching and scratching has forgotten. I've forgotten from where I stopped. Can you please find another place from where you can go and itch yourself? And now the bear was feeling very sad. Oh no. First it was that rabbit. Now it is this the panda. Oh, now I'll do one thing. Let me just take a twig that has fallen down from the tree and I am feeling itchy by my elbow and let me just itch. And while he was doing that, there was somebody on the twig and it said, Hello, oi, oi, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? And Bear started looking here and there. Who was it? Who was calling me? And suddenly, who came from there? There was a bee who was sitting on that twig. And he said, Can't you see I'm doing an important work on this twig? And how can you just pick it up from the ground and you can start itching on all over your body? Can you please put me down again? Oh God, now the bear was very embarrassed and he just didn't know what to do. Oh my God. And then he said, Oh, I have to find a good place. And now it was itching all the more. And he started itching. It was near his shoulders. It was behind his ears. It was behind his hair. It was near his wrist. Oh my God, it was there everywhere. Oh. And then he found a nice tree where he could scratch himself. But first, he looked by the side of the tree to see if there was any rabbit who was digging a hole. But there was no rabbit. He was very happy. And then he looked around and he saw if there was a panda who was counting any numbers. And then he looked, he said, Oh, no panda here. And then he looked through the twigs and did he say, Are there any bees here whom I would disturb? And the panda said, Oh, no, there is nobody. Yes, finally, I found a tree where I can itch, and I can itch. Wow, and I can scratch myself real nice. So by the time he saw there was nobody whom he is disturbing, and he started to scratch himself, and he went, ooh, and he went, ah, he was feeling so good. But he shook the tree so much. Do you want to know which tree was that? That was an apple tree. Yes, it was an apple tree. And while doing all the scratching, he didn't realize he was scratching it so hard that all the apples started to topple on him and it fell all over him. That He was surrounded with apples. While he was surrounded with the apples, what happened? Suddenly his itch went away and he came out from the tumble of apples and he took a small bite first. He took a little bigger bite. And he said, delicious, very delicious. And while eating the apple, he felt so happy and he forgot that he had an itch. Right? So, how many times did you do that? Itch, itch, itch. Right. So, when I'm telling this story, okay, for a story to be successful, what we just need to add a little humor that's there in most of the children's books, right? You need to add that little bit of sound effects, yes, like we did the itching sound, correct? And then you have to set the scene, right? You have to set the scene. Maybe you can tell it was evening, there were a lot of grasses around, right? Then take your time and hope you noticed that my face was alive, right? I didn't say just ooh, he was scratching and he went ooh. No, he went ooh. When he had the apple, it was not a delicious apple, it was a delicious apple, right? So you have to build that suspense, that anticipation. Look out for the lovely words in the books that you can, exaggerate a little, right? And my hands were on the move. So gestures are very, very important when you say a story. Correct? Now, along with this, the storytelling, not necessary that you have to do it only with the books. Correct? You can also do it while they are playing. We all know that play is vital, right? Research shows that children who've played have fared better in their life, right? So play is essential and vital, both of it. What play does is it encourages you to talk. In fact, I still do that. Many times I play with my son and I see him that it's so much fun. There's so much of sharing that happens when he's playing. So and the next thing is be your child's reading model. Okay, so let them catch you reading a book, a newspaper, magazines, or anything. Children love to imitate. Then I would suggest all the teachers that in your classroom, every day you have to read a book, and to all the parents, you make a schedule in your day or a routine where you have to read to a child aloud, and this has to be on a regular mode. It is very, very important. Be in that mood. You can make your own silly stories, you can take out books, or but I would still suggest you to read it yourself, right? Put the books on the show. Okay, books on the show means have a bookshelf, right? I know buying books can be an expensive affair, but we can always invest in libraries, or you can hit the book sales, you can get them in second hand, right? So it is wonderful. It is make it a routine every day to your child that you read to them every single day. Okay, and once you read to them, okay, they will develop that love for reading. Then slowly they would start reading along, correct? So reading, and then comes your writing, so that will help them in their written work as well. So reading stories are very, very important. Okay, so this was one story that I told you with only with the help of props. If you do not have props, it's absolutely fine. Your voice modulation, your expressions, your gestures will make it work. Okay. I will share one more story with all of you. That is, in case if you're reading a book to the children, then how are you going to do that? All right. Okay, so I'm going to display that book to you.
Learning to read was never so much fun. Help your child acquire reading skills starting at home. Get your child reading and learning with the SquareTales reading app today and turn them into confident readers for life. Each book slowly increases the level of learning, following a sequence of phonological awareness so your child becomes an independent reader. All this while the child is playing. Download the SquareTales reading app today.
Okay. All right, and this is my favorite book. It is written by Eric Carle, The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Yes, you know what? There, when the bear was feeling an itch, you know who was actually troubling him? It was the butterfly that was troubling him. The butterfly went under his chin and he tickled him. That's when he got an itch there. The butterfly went behind the ears and he tickled him. That's where he got the itch again, right? But where did the butterfly come from? Do you want to know? All right, so this is a story about the very hungry caterpillar by Eric Carle. In the light of the moon, a little egg lay on a leaf. One Sunday morning, the warm sun came up and pop! Out came the of the egg came a tiny and a very hungry caterpillar. So he started to look for some food. And he said, I'm hungry. On Monday, he ate through one apple. How many apples did he eat? Just one apple. But he was still hungry and he said, I am still hungry. On Tuesday, he ate through two pears. One, two. Oh my God. And what did he do? And he said, I am still hungry. After that, it was one apple, then he had two pears, and now there were three plums. So on Wednesday, he ate through how many plums? Let's count. One, two, three. Three plums. But he was still hungry. Can you see the caterpillar? What is the caterpillar saying? I am still hungry. Oh, on Thursday, he ate through four strawberries. See? One, two, three, four. His stomach should be full now. But look what he's saying. He's saying, I am still hungry. Oh. And on Friday, he ate through five oranges. So one, two, three, four, and five. Now he should be okay. Oh no, but he's not. What does he say? What is he saying? He's saying, I am still hungry. So you know what he did on Saturday? He did not do a good thing on Saturday. You know, he ate so many things. Oh my God, they're all just going away. All they're just going away. Do you want to know what did he eat? Do you know what he wanted to eat? Okay. Yes, we will just have just one moment. Ooh. Okay, he ate through so many things and she, can you see? He ate a cake, he had an ice cream, he had a zucchini, he had a cheese, he had so many things on Saturday. And when he ate all of this on Saturday, see how he's just nibbling everything, right? What happened next? He fell ill that day. Obviously, when you eat so much and so much of junk food, you will going to have a stomach ache, right? So next day was Sunday, and on Sunday he just had one nice green leaf. That's it. And after that he felt much better and he said, oh, now I'm not that hungry. And he went to sleep. And what happened after that? He wasn't hungry, but even he wasn't a little caterpillar. He's now a big and a fat caterpillar. Oh my God. And then what did he do? He built a small house around him. And what is that house called? It's called a cocoon. What is that house called? It's called a cocoon. And that is, he builds it around himself. So he stayed inside for more than 2 weeks and he nibbled a hole in the cocoon and he pushed his way out. Right. And what did he come out as? He came out as a beautiful butterfly. Butterfly, butterfly, fly around. Butterfly, butterfly, sit on my nose. Butterfly, butterfly, fly around. Butterfly, butterfly, touch the sky. Wow. And it was this naughty butterfly who was troubling our little bear. And what did he do to the bear? The bear just went itching and itching and itching at all times. Right? I hope you are all enjoying these stories. Now, story is not necessary only when children have grown up. You can start right from the time they are in at infant level. Initially they may not give you a response, but they are listening to you. So start saying stories to the children right from the beginning, because every word that you say, they are storing it in their mind, in their brains, and when they are biologically ready to speak, they will say all of these words. There are a few things that I want to share with all of you. Is when children learn to talk, I would want you all to speak in correct and crisp and correct language. It's very nice to hear children talk in their baby tone, in their baby words. They're not able to say. It looks very cute. It looks very nice. But what happens sometimes? The children, when you speak in the same way to the child will feel that, oh, this is the right way to speak. So for you as an adult, you can speak in the same tone of the baby, but ensure that the words that you speak to the child are in clear and very there has to be a lot of clarity, so the child can listen to all the sounds of the words that you are saying. And when they grow up a little bit, they will be able to pronounce the words absolutely fine. All right, I can show you, I can share some more things with you which you can do to stimulate language with children. Okay, so we saw that storytelling was one of the thing, but when you go and watch movies with the children, okay, so you can talk to them about the movie. You can ask them what was it that they liked about the movie, which was their favorite character in the movie, right? So all of these things, you can share a lot of things with your children after the movie. It's not that you just saw the movie and it is done. Then the same thing, if they are reading a book, or when you're reading a book to the child, you can again ask them about their thoughts. You can ask them about their feelings. You can ask them about how they felt about a character. So maybe if I see that um, the child is um, maybe in my school as a teacher, there's a child who's always pushing and beating others. So how do I help him? I can tell a story, right? So a simple way, I can just show you that. So there was Bunny the rabbit. Bunny the rabbit was a very friendly child, but one day he happened to walk and run as fast as possible, and by mistake he pushed Bee and Pan the panda. Both of them fell down. And now, what did Bunny do? He did not even say sorry. He just ran and he was just moving ahead. That's when he saw that he heard some little noises of Buzzy the bee crying and Panda the pan crying. So he turned back and he came to them and he said, "Oops, what did I do? I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have done this. I didn't know that you got hurt. I should have taken care." right? So when you are saying all of these things, then again you can ask it to the children. What did Bunny the rabbit do? He was running so fast that he did not see anybody on his way, and he pushed Buzzy the bee, and he pushed Pan the panda, right? So you can again ask the children to repeat it. So that way, again, you are helping them to learn sequencing, you're helping them to learn the language skills. Then there was one thing that I would like to share. So the teachers can do it during snack time, and the parents can do it at either at lunchtime or at dinner table. Okay, so this game I play with my when we sit on the dinner table. It's called Roses and Thorns. So what is roses and thorns? So roses are something that I share, the good things that have happened through the day, and thorns are the things that have not gone well through my day. Okay, so when I share, right, my child is listening to me. The same way, the child will also learn to reciprocate about what was good about the day and what went wrong in the day. Correct? So that way, that communication is going to be there with the child at all times, and it is they are definitely going to learn to share their feelings, learn to express, learn to emote, all of these things. Okay. If there are any questions, you can put it across. So, okay, there's somebody asking me how you can help who have short span of attention. Okay, children, how do you know the attention span? It is generally the age of the child plus 1 or 2 minutes. So if a child is 2 years, okay, so the child can give you an attention span of maximum of 4 or 5 minutes. That is his 100% attention. So a lot of voice modulation, props, okay, the pictures that you show to the child, all of these things help the children. Okay. Then I wanted to share certain books with you. So these are for the little babies. Okay, so this is on shapes. So when I am showing a book, I can tell the child, I can just take his finger and just move it around and say a square. And this is a touch and a feel book. Okay, so it says bumpy circle. So I'm going to take his hand or a finger and just move it around and say a square. Then, if it is a circle, that was a circle. This is a square. Now, what kind of a square is it? Oh, it is a very soft square. Okay, so I'll take my finger and I say square. What shape is this? Square. Wonderful. Okay, so this was one book. And then again, these are all the touch and feel books that you can have for your little ones. Okay, so we feel that they are not talking yet, but yes, see, you can show these books to them. It has nice effects over here. So it says it's a butterfly and she has soft wings. So when I feel it over here, I can feel soft over here. Okay, even if you don't have these books, it's absolutely fine. You can just take the different materials that you have in your house, of your dresses. You can show them silk. Silk is soft and smooth, right? And whereas jute is a little hard. Correct. So a lot of things that you can show children with the things that you have around in your house itself. But always ensure that you're talking to them or continuously put it as a form of a story. Now, in case, I've come across this point where most parents say that, ma'am, whenever we ask the child what he has done in the class, he doesn't share. He just says, we did too many things, or we we didn't do anything. These were only the two answers that he would give us, right? So what? So firstly, you have to share your things, so you can just speak to the child. Do you know what kind of a day I had? The morning was a little busy after you went to the school, and after that I prepared this lunch for you, and or whatever work you have done through the day. Okay, so once you start explaining to the child, when the child will learn to reciprocate the same thing. Okay, but do not force the child to speak that what did you do? No, tell me, otherwise I'm calling your ma'am and I'm asking her what did you do. Okay, so these were some of the tips that I can give you. All right. So there's somebody asking me, how do I improve a language? Okay. So any language for that matter, I would always suggest all the parents that initially I would want each one of you to speak in your regional languages. Okay, so if you're a Gujarati, a Marathi, Punjabi, whatever is your regional language, or how many other regional languages you know, please talk to the child initially in your regional language. The reason is the swar and the vyanjan, the amount of swar and vyanjan that we have, the sounds that we have in our regional language surpass English language. So the children will learn to twist and turn their tongues. Okay, so they know the different sounds and they will be able to pronounce a lot of sounds very, very clearly if you're speaking in regional language to them initially. Slowly, when you want to introduce English or any other language, the child has to be exposed to that language first. So you can speak. So, maybe if the child is saying dudu, acha dudu, aapko milk chahiye? Okay, let me get milk for you. Okay, so that way children will be able to relate both the languages and they will pick up the language easily from you. Okay, yes.
Early literacy is the foundation for all learning. Building on this foundation, our mission at Square Panda is to help every child succeed at early literacy. One of the things that parents may not always be aware of is that learning to read is an extremely complex skill. Not only from a behavioral perspective where children have to attend school for many years to learn how to read, but also from the perspective of the brain where some profound rewiring needs to happen to enable skilled reading. Square Panda monitors a child's performance on the games so it can deliver personalized instruction to each child. Progress in the game is adapted to keep the child in the optimal zone for learning, where they're challenged but not frustrated, where they're rewarded but not bored. One of the other things that I want to emphasize is that it is very important for children to really get engaged and have fun with the reading process. That is what ultimately will drive their intrinsic motivation to keep coming back and keep learning.
All right, so there are some who are asking me, how do I convince the child to eat the food without watching TV? Or where can I find stories based on content of syllables? Okay, all right. Now, firstly, in front of the TV. Okay, so the TV is again a gadget. So during the lunchtime, try and sit and converse with the child, or you can tell a story or something like that. Make it a very interesting meal time for the children. Let it not be a forced meal. Okay, let it not be the time when the child is not hungry. The child should be hungry first, and that is when you give food to them, they will eat it without watching any television or any of the gadget. Okay, and how to teach, there's somebody who's asked me how to teach children according to the syllabus. Now, stories have absolutely no syllabus at all. The stories have everything in them. They have the nouns, they have the pronouns, they have the adjectives, all of that. Once you say a story and the children have learned the parts of speech, you can ask them, try and find out the words of the parts of speech from the book that or the story that you have read, so they can get it together. Okay, and how can I want to work upon improving the language learning for my child? Okay, yeah, I think I have already mentioned the learning techniques. And what is the right age to start reading to stories? I said as soon as they are born. Okay, right from the time they are in the womb is what I said, that you have to start speaking to them. But reading stories you can do once they are born. Immediately you can do that. All right. Then I used to converse. Okay, there's somebody who's sharing that they used to converse a lot, but it backfired. So whether the front person is interested or not. Okay, so what you have to do here is, maybe, okay, as a parent, I wouldn't have given the attention to the child when he or she was speaking. All right, it happens many a times. It happens many a times that we do not give an answer, or we are busy in our work and we, tell them that, okay, not now, we'll talk later about it. Okay, so what are we doing? We are not listening to the child. So the child is imitating us. So when I have the time and I want to talk to the child will also do the same thing back to me. All right. So ensure that when children are talking to you, you give them a listening ear if you want the children to listen to you. Okay. All right. Voice modulation, it's very simple. So you have to learn it. You can remove your voice from your tummy, especially the voices that come, when you're crying or something like that. It all comes from your tummy. So you can just try it once and it's say, you know what? He was beating me. Right? So when you're saying all this, it comes right from your tummy and your heart. You can see those muscles pulling up. Your normal voice comes from your throat. Okay, then you have the nasal voices that come out from your nose, and it is like, hello, I am a rabbit, and you know what, I like to hop and I like to eat carrots. I love to eat carrots, and I can run really really fast, you see. Okay, so that's from your nose. And then from your head are all the louder voices. Okay, so the louder voices, when you're showing a giant or a crocodile or a lion, they all come from your head. You can actually feel those nerves pulling when you say the sound. It goes, "Ah, who is that? And I want you right here. Who's disturbing me?" Right? So you have to learn. You have to sit in front of the mirror and try to remove as many voices as you can. Okay, so I think we have taken most of the questions. Okay, they're asking me how did I get this video. There was somebody who helped me with the video. Okay, he's a graphic designer, so he's helped me with the video. Okay, so I think I have shared most of the tips as to how we can, help children improve their language skills with the help of storytelling. So I would request everybody to make a promise to yourself that you make a routine where you can, tell a story to a child every single day in every language that you know. Right. Thank you so much. Yes, over to you, Mr. Ashish.
Thank you so much, Ms. Aaron. I think that was a great session, and thank you for taking time out to answer all the questions that all the parents and teachers may have had. Just for everybody, I think the ones that may have missed part of the presentation or what Ms. Aaron was sharing, I'm again sharing the group, the Facebook group that you can join. We're going to have all of this content available on this Facebook group, as well as any additional content around your children and storytelling. I think there were a lot of questions on titles of books, etc. So whatever we can gather, we're going to be sharing across with this particular Facebook group. So please, join the group.
Download the free SquareTales reading app today.